and welcome to this episode of Lights Out, your virtual campfire. I'm your hostess with the mostest ghosties, Sylvia Shults. Most of you guys who listen to this podcast know that, in addition to being an investigator, I also write books of true ghost stories. And if you don't know that, shoot on over to Amazon or sylviashults.wordpress.com and check them out. To promote these books, I often make appearances on radio shows, most of them with a paranormal angle to them. Some of the hosts of these shows have become friends of mine. I first appeared as a guest on the Brian and Sherri Show to talk about fractured spirits, hauntings at the Peoria State Hospital. Brian and Sherri, and I, enjoyed our conversation so much that they have invited me back several times. Sometimes we talk about my books, and sometimes we just chat about the paranormal in general, and ghosts in particular. Brian and Sherri are welcoming, gracious hosts who have made me feel at home from the very first show I did with them. They're both very well versed in the world of the supernatural. During one of the shows, Brian mentioned, "Hey, you like ghost stories? We should talk. I've got a good story for you." So later on, when we weren't both doing a radio show, I caught up with him via Skype. I am talking with Brian, who is half of the Brian and Sherri Show. And I understand that you are also, in addition to being a wonderful, welcoming radio host, I understand that you are also an investigator. So tell me about that. Tell me about your experiences. Share some fun stories with me.
Yeah, sure. I've done it a couple of times. I had the interest of becoming an investigator. It sounded fun, only because I did, at the time, this was many years ago, I liked the fact of the unknown, of not knowing, what was going to happen. So I only technically have one story.
Okay.
So we had gone to a couple of places, a group of us. I think there was about 6 or 7 of us. We did the inside of an old church. We went to the cemetery behind it. Found really nothing. We were amateurs. We had little video recorders. We had the voice recorders.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, and so, we thought we were prepared. But, everyone here in our area kept telling us to go up to the Witches' Cemetery.
Oh.
And the Witches' Cemetery is located on the top of a mountain. And why it's on top of a mountain, there's no house. You can't live on top of the mountain. There's no houses. There's, nobody around. So.
And just to set the scene, remind me where you live. Where is this? This isn't close to New York, isn't it?
Well, I live in Adams, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
So I'm about 45 minutes to an hour away from Albany, New York.
Okay. So, and this Witches' Cemetery is where? Is that also in Massachusetts?
It is also in Massachusetts.
Okay.
This is in the town of Washington, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
So, but the funny thing is it's located, which is called Four Corners, because at the top of the mountain there's 4 dirt roads that go up the mountain and meet at the same place. So you can get to it by 4 different towns.
Oh, cool.
Each one has its own road. So this is pretty much by where Sherri grew up, in that general area. So there was about 6 or 7 of us, so we decided to go up there and investigate. We went up early. It was still light out, so that way you have to travel into the woods just a little bit to find the little cemetery. Yeah.
I've been to a pioneer cemetery just very much like that, and it's just, they're impossible to find in the dark. You have to go during the daytime.
Exactly.
To find it, yeah.
And I'm glad I did. So because it's very small, and you could overlook it or not be able to find it if it was, dark enough. So, I mean, we got there around 5:30. It's still light out. We had our equipment, like I said. We had the voice recorder. We had the video camera. And like I said, there was about 6 or 7 of us all together.
Okay.
And Sherri, and this is with Sherri, by the way. So
cool.
So, we go. We know nothing about this cemetery whatsoever. And there's about, I would say, 10 to 12 stones. And these are old. These are 1600, 1700 stones.
Wow. See, we just don't get that in Illinois.
Yeah. So some of them are, fallen over. You can't read the writing very well anymore.
Oh.
So, yeah. So we noticed that posted on a tree is pretty much, all of them. It lists all the markers. It lists the names and the dates.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. So,
yeah.
We got a picture of it and whatnot. So now it's starting to get dark.
Okay.
Like, okay, the fun's going to start. Here we go. So we're walking around. We're looking at all this, all the graves and whatnot. And, I don't know if it was just because it was night and we're in the cemetery, your mind starts to wander just a little bit. You think you start to see things.
Yeah.
You're with 6 or 7 people, so we're all seeing the same thing. Like, we started asking questions. And, you wait for the response or whatnot, and you hope that you catch something on tape.
Yeah.
So we would ask the general questions, who are you? Why are you here? Things like that. And then we would start to see black, I know it was kind of dark at that point, but it was darker than black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could really see what it was, the outline and stuff. So, and it was off into the bushes a little bit, so we were getting a little freaked out. But we would we found one stone. It didn't really say, the name anymore, so we kind of looked over, and it said the name of who it was and the dates and stuff, and like, okay, whatever. So let's see if we can talk to this person,
Yeah.
But what was funny is that it's considered a witches' cemetery, but it's not just females, it's males as well. So we kind of were like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting,
Yeah.
And by now, it's at least 8:30, 9 o'clock. And we're going around and we're talking and whatnot, and then we find another grave. So, of course, we go back over to the marker and, see where it, it was listed. And Sherri could have sworn that we had already established that was that person, this is the dates or whatever. But it wasn't on the list anymore.
Oh.
And it kind of freaked us out a little bit because it kind of just vanished off the list, and we had no idea. It's not marked. We don't understand it.
Oh my.
Okay. Yeah. So let's calm down. Let's figure this out. We go back onto the videotape. It clearly shows that I think the number was 13. And I know. I was there. So, and now we're looking at the sheet of paper in front of us. There's only 12 listed. So I'm like, okay, I'm not understanding this at all. So we keep going. We're walking around, and we still ask questions. Being respectful and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if somebody asked the wrong question or we were pretty much talking to the wrong person. Because all of a sudden, you could hear what sounded like a heartbeat. And, if it's just one person and, you hear it, maybe it's just in your head. But when you have 6 or 7 people that can hear the exact same thing at the exact same time, you're hearing it. It's real.
Yeah.
So We're searching for animals. We're searching for other people because there is a walking path, to get to the cemetery. There's nobody else in the parking lot. It's dirt road. You're on top of a mountain by yourselves. So we're like, okay, this is kind of, So then it's time to really start asking questions.
Yeah.
Is there somebody here with us?
Mm-hmm.
Are you here to harm us? And we're here to help you, and the usual questions and whatnot. Well, they must have been very upset or didn't want us there because the heartbeat sound got louder to the point where you could feel it. And I'm like, okay, this is not good.
Wow.
So people started freaking out, and they wanted to leave. So, and I think it was Sherri or I, suggested that we leave together. Don't just wander off and leave us here.
No kidding.
But it got louder and louder as we started walking away from the cemetery.
Oh, jeez.
And once you hit the road, you didn't hear nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, it kind of freaked us out, and I'm not doing this again, and then me and Sherri are just like, oh my God, this is fun. There's got to be something on that tape. There's got to be something on that video camera. So, we're going to go back and we're going to check everything out, and we're going to do it the right way and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing that I've noticed is when we went down the road to get there, there's a little parking lot. There's a reservoir up there, which one of the towns gets their drinking water from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a very big area and stuff like that. But there was a sign, like a street sign, and it said Schoolhouse Road.
Mm.
But there's no road.
Huh.
So it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I later then, tried to investigate this place and get some history and whatnot, which there really wasn't a whole lot.
Mm.
I used Google Earth.
Oh, yeah.
To pinpoint the cemetery, which it shows a picture of the cemetery on top of the mountain and whatnot, which is pretty
cool. Yeah.
But the street sign is not there.
Oh.
So, yeah. So what we did is we went to the town hall.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked questions about the cemetery, and yes, it's old, and, no, it's not a witch's cemetery, but people believe that it is because a few females were buried there that could have been witches. And,
tongues will wag.
Yeah, but they couldn't answer as to why it was there. Like, why are they there? Did people live on the mountain at one point? Because, I said, I noticed the road with the sign that said Schoolhouse Road. I didn't know maybe there was a small village up there at one point, back in the day or whatever.
Yeah, that's good thinking.
No, there's no roads up there. I said, the sign says Schoolhouse Road, but there's no road.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, no, there's no roads up there. And when I went back later on and looked at the picture, top view or whatever, there is no sign. So a lot of things just didn't add up and were very creepy.
Yeah, that sounds really eerie.
Yes. So, going back to listening to the voice recorder.
Yes.
What do you call it? What's the word you want to use when you guys record?
EVPs?
Voice? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, EVP. So that's what we were listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And, you couldn't hear any voices, but you could hear muffling sounds. So it was very creepy, and that was the point in time that we had saw the dark shadow over one of the stones at the edge where the bushes were.
Ah.
So, and we were trying to talk to it and whatnot, but all we got was muffled sounds.
Nothing clear. Okay.
Yeah. But you can definitely hear the heartbeat sound.
Aha. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah. But what was funny is that you can't hear on the voice recorder. You only heard it by watching the video.
Ah, I've heard that happening, where one piece of equipment picks it up and another piece of equipment that's in the same location doesn't pick it up. That's interesting.
Right. Yeah. So after that, a lot of them decided not to do it anymore. So, so the band kind of broke up.
Oh.
And since then we really haven't done it. I mean, nowadays I don't have time and stuff. I mean, I would love to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my story. It was very freaky to hear something and to have, not just yourself hear it. You got 6 other people hearing the same exact thing. So it was more of a validation, like, okay, we're not hearing things. We can all hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
absolutely. That's cool. If you've never listened to the Brian and Sherri Show, give them a try. It's always a fun time, and Sherri and Brian are both wonderful hosts. Check out their show, which airs live every Friday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Find them on Facebook at Brian Sherri Show or on the web at briansherrishow.com. That's BrianSherri. I've got a couple of really exciting shows coming up next, so you'll want to stick around for those. In the next episode, we'll meet some of the members of Ghost Head Soup at their lab. Then, in the following episode, you guys will join me on an investigation in the Ghost Head Soup lab, an investigation that was one of the most active I've ever experienced. We will be going lights out.